Hello everyone, and welcome to Chapter 13 of my Call of the Armor 0% Growths Low Turn Count playthrough. Now that we've finished the last route map of the game, and Vivek has hit rescue rank, I think we've now entered the late game of this LTC, and maps from here on can largely be categorized in two ways. There are strong boss maps and there are weak boss maps, and I'll be showing off one of each for you today. We're starting off with Chapter 13, which I consider the weak boss map. Preps are going to be very simple. All we really need is Flint to eat the energy ring for 1 extra warp range, and we need Vivek to have a bolting tome and the wife's ring. And that's kind of the core of a weak boss map. Technically, Chapter 13 is a defend map, but if you kill the boss, then the map ends early, so that's obviously what I'll be going for. And it's right about now that I would like to remind viewers that in FE8, when you have an S rank in a weapon, you get +5 hit and +5 crit when you use a weapon of that type. Vivek has S anima, and so, after a bit of rigging, this bolting tome is going to have just enough power on a crit to kill Burleys and end the map in 1 turn. Flint needs 1 extra tile to get Vivek where he needs to be. And Burleys gives us the boots for our trouble. Chapter 13 is cleared in 1 turn, and now we're on to Chapter 14. Chapter 14 is what I would call a strong boss map, meaning that the boss, Jezebel, doesn't die to a bolting crit. In fact, she's one of the more infamously bulky bosses of this hack. But first, I need to introduce a new unit, Frances. Frances is a Valkyrie. She has effectively 20 magic and instant B rank staves, and we're going to give her the boots. We did that because she's our most mobile staffer, and she also ties for the largest staff range. She doesn't technically need the boots for this clear, but she does absolutely need them for Chapter 15. And really, what self-respecting LTCer would just leave the boots in the convoy? As for the map itself, Chapter 14 is a kill boss map, and there are kind of 2 ways to approach it. There's going down this middle path, which is lightly guarded and leads directly to the main boss of the map. Alternatively, you could go on the flanks and get rid of the 2 mini-bosses that are on 2 different castles. And the game kind of pushes you towards this by saying that if you just go down the middle path, then the boss has a trap waiting for you that you can only disarm by going on the flanks. But you can't activate the trap if you're dead, so I'm not too worried about that. Here we're going to clean up all the enemies in the middle path. This is going to be super important for turn 2, where we need to leave our staff users in very forward locations. And so, after Soma kills this soldier, we are going to initiate another take support give. Soma's going to be our boss killer for reasons I'll explain in a bit, but what's really inconvenient about him is that he has 17 con. He's very heavy. And so, that is the reason that Lily needed to be promoted to Falcon Knight instead of Wyvern Knight. Wyvern gives you higher con upon promotion, So although she would have, say, more speed with a killer lance, if she went Wyvern, she couldn't rescue Soma, and she also couldn't rescue a later unit. So that wasn't a realistic option for me. There are a couple variations for this 2-turn. I ended up going with this quad rescue variation. It's super safe. There is a chance of death here for Lily. She's going to face 4 attacks and she needs to dodge 2 of them. 2 of them are sub 50, and she just decided this clear that she's going to get hit by those 2, and she's going to dodge the more accurate ones, which I guess is fine by me. But the quad rescue variation, very safe for my staffers. Francis is even frailer than Vivek, so that's important. And it gets Vivek more staff rank, which is good because we do want him to hit warp at some point. And sometimes he'll be busy with bolting on weak boss maps. So we really got to get our rescues in whenever we can. One nice side effect of being forced to 2-turn this map is that I can kill this general and get his sleep staff. The sleep staff will come into play a couple times because, as you might have guessed, my combat is going to start falling off pretty hard. But after this final rescue, we can get Soma the extra movement boost he needs, and he can encounter the boss. The boss is a druid named Jezebel, and she is infamously hard to take care of, like I mentioned earlier. 43 HP, 16 speed, and 7+5 defense from her S-rank tome. The only person in my army who could realistically kill her was Soma, because at the end of chapter 12 he got this spirit hammer here, which, as you can see, deals effective damage against magic using classes. He needs to land 2 46s, and thankfully, after a barrier boost, he lives 3 attacks. So he's fine there. And after getting him to hit both of his attacks, we'll just end our turn. The boss always moves last, so I did need to clear out the entire section to keep Francis safe. And Soma's going to connect this attack here, and that'll be chapter 14 completed in 2 turns. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you for chapter 15.